Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Sorry I haven't posted in a few days. Usual story, I record a video and then the sound doesn't record. It's so annoying, so I do apologise that I actually have been recorded it, but it's so um, frustrating when you spend like 30 minutes doing all your analysis and it doesn't do the sound. It's then you have to go, if I had to go over it again, it wouldn't feel like I'm spotting things as I see them. It just won't feel as genuine at all. So I'd just rather do a video as I'm doing it. So yeah, it's the 27th of March. It's 23 minutes past 11. We just had London. Um, I don't trade London really at all, but I do sometimes. But here are some of the levels that we spoke about um, in some other videos, which are still valid to me. So I did trade this week on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm actually doing all right on the trades. I'll just switch over to this trade account. So as you know, this is what we've done this week on the Alpha Capital challenge. Now this is the balance, so we're about 2% up. I did get down to around 40, 45. Let's just have a look. Let's have a look. I had a bad start because I was stuck on gold. I was just trading gold for some reason, and that's all I got. I just couldn't get my yeah, so we got down to the lowest at 47.58, which is 5% down, and now we've got it up to 50.97. So we've actually made a 6% gain. So, and the first trade on this account was the 19th of Feb. So we've had it for about a month, and this is kind of quite relative to most people. You start off passing at funded in a month can be done, but it's not realistic. But you just got to get your sizings right with all your and realize where you've gone wrong. Look at this, all gold trades, right? And then as soon as I stopped trading gold, everything got better, and then I just took a few in. So I'll go through a few this week. So we've done. Let's have a look at the date. On the 24th, the start of the week. So these are the trades this week. And I'll tell you what happened on them. We started off all right, but I've had to end a few trades early because I was going to sleep basically. So because I'm in Thailand, when it gets to about 4 p.m., it's as you can see here, 5:30. That's when I end all these trades. Um, it's like 11 o'clock here, so that's the reason why. Anyway, I'll stop waffling on. Right, so let's go on to this. So what we found here is the 130 level, which we marked out last week, has been the very obvious resistance level, and since then we've pretty much been downtrending. Now yesterday I got in a nice little buy from right down here at about 2 o'clock, but I'll just go on to the trade now so you can see. Actually, I'll just show you where I entered first so you can see. So we're on the 5 minute. I'll just quickly move on to the hourly. Now I noticed this resistance down here where we'd hit from around here. We also hit here and here. Now what I've been noticing is the 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock candles. We kind of getting hitting a bottom or a top, and then we're just flinging the opposite way. So that's why I went for a buy. So if you look at this candle here, 1 o'clock, we've got a sweep and a rejection, and then I entered off this 2, and it was actually early 2 o'clock. My targets were here. Now obviously we've done this the day after, but I had this line in as well as a potential rejection point. And that's exactly what happened. If you look here, this is on the 5 minute last night. I entered here on this candle, pushed up. I targeted, it was 129.20 I targeted, which was here. We hit there and we just consolidated down, up, down, up, down, and then when we rejected for the third time from 129, I thought, and it was about it was about 4 o'clock. I thought, you know what, I'll cut my losses. Well, I'll take a small win, which was 196, which is 10 pips. and then we'll move on to tomorrow. So I did make a profit. I took myself out of a loss because it would have been a loss, especially on rollover. So that's why I did that. Second trade of the week was a gold trade, which was nice, and I did that it was a short on Tuesday from this 130, I think it was a 3034 area. It was this candle here, and again, what I did was I saw that there was this 50% level, so I put an alert there. I actually set my trade here. This was on the top step account, but I also got one on here as well, and luckily this one actually hit TP. It smashed the TP, but it was a bit of a freak trade where there was some crazy movement and momentum. This is it. Look. So I entered the short here. I doubled it up because I meant to put one lot on, so that's why I see that. So I was entering at 3028. First one was here, second one was here. It was a manual entry because I just didn't think it was going to tap me back in, which it didn't really. It just went straight out. But see this candle here, it was going up and then it just went boom, and for some reason, luckily, it just took me out. Really nice profit of about 1,000, nearly 1,000 on that. 512 and 436. So that was that trade. But then on my top step account, I did take the trade, but it didn't take me out. As you can see here on the 20, where is it now? It'll show a different price in here on the 25th. The 64. I actually let that run all night, and the thing is with Top Step is it doesn't actually it doesn't slip you. It just takes you out. So I just let it run, and it did about, well, it's 64 ticks, which is alright. But you can see this is all the trades from the 19th. I've not lost one, which is not what I'm. Obviously, you don't want to lose a trade. I'm not going to base it on that. I'm winning all these trades, but the thing is, I'm having to cut a lot of them early because they're not running. So what I'm going to look at now is we're going to look at some key points here. So we can see a bit of reversal here on the GBP. We've been bullish since pretty much open last night. So 11 o'clock at night, which is a Japanese market opens. We've taken out all this here, which was a big sell-off, which was in London session, and we've come right back up to this point here at 29.40. We found this support. So all these are valid right now. All these lines, and they've stayed valid for weeks, really. This week, last week, and a bit week before, all these areas, they just keep getting used. So what we're probably looking for today is, are we going to continue being bullish? Now, if I just look onto the DXY, as you can see here, we've had these previous levels, 1037, 1034, they've been smashed, and this is looking at a potential continuation. What we need to see if we're going to continue with bullish momentum on GBP today is we need to start to see these getting broken, these levels here. This is the nearest support at 1038, and then the previous more key resistance here at 1037, and we need this gap. We need to start trading in this gap here. Alright, this is where we need to be going into. Shit, sorry. Because what we get a lot of time in London is we get a manipulation. So this could be a manipulation to then just fly down, and it would make sense, but then equally it would also make sense to go back up. So we're in a bit of a middle moment here when we're kind of like in between what we could do on both. So what we're looking at is we need to break and close above 29.40 for potential buys going up. But this level here is at a level which could be both. It could be a buy or a sell. So we can put these on both. Ignore the stop loss. As you know, you trade based on your own risk to reward at 2 to 1. So whatever pips you want, half it, and that's your stop loss. Or whatever pips stop loss you have, double it for the take profit. Simple as that. So this is quite a good area. But we need to see where we finish in about 2.5 hours. Where we're going to be in 2.5 hours. Now a lot can happen in that time. So we could look at potential buys from there, potential buys from here. I'd only really be looking, I don't think that we'd get that far up and then sell from it. I think we'll only get that far up if we get a rejection and go up, and then it'll be like 5 o'clock. So I'd only be looking for buys from here, sells from here, or buys from here, personally. So 129 buys, sells 1294, or buys 1294, depending on where we end up. So let's look on here. So we've got an interesting price. By the way, this is the first time I looked at these charts today, so I'm kind of doing it as I go along. There's a lot of lines going on at the minute, so I'm going to get rid of this one. These are kind of been building up over the last week or so, so I need to clear it up a little bit. But we've got this zone here which we're trading from. We seem to have a reaction actually off this 108 level, which is a key area. So I'm going to put that as a new area which we've not done yet. And we're looking at similar kind of things. I'm going to move this down a little bit to 107.4. And then we've kind of got our zone here, which is a 60 pip zone from today. Now, if we can find support on here, we could probably target these highs. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom out into the 4 hour so you can find any kind of, yeah. I think this area here, the 108 area, is same equivalent as GBP. It could be a buy or a sell from here, and it all depends on where we end up from at 2 o'clock onwards. Now we also need to check the news today. 60. Get a long position there. Boom. Be probably targeting something. I mean, we don't want to go for that many pips, but that's the range. I'm just going to check the news. Right, so we have got unemployment claims, which is actually, I really like it when there's unemployment claims, especially when it's at times like this, because it really sets up the market, and it kind of makes the trading a lot more predictable, in my opinion, because usually what happens is with the news, there's a massive, well not a massive, there's a big push in any direction, whether it's up or down. But then the actual direction is the opposite, and that's how it slowly continues to trade. Usually that's what happens, unless it's gold. That's when on gold it usually continues. I don't know what's going on right now on this, but we'll go and have a look at it. Right, so GBP and Euro are both in the middle at the minute. We just need to look at where we finish on this. So we've got 108 dead. If we close above this and then using it as support, we're looking for buys. If we close above it and use it as close below it and use it as resistance, we're looking for sales. Very simple basics, but that's why I believe this area is pretty key. If we end up like down here and it goes up to there and then goes down at like 3.5, it's probably going to be a bit more difficult to get into the trade. You have to do a bit of waiting around, but it just really depends where we are, how close we are, and what kind of zone we're in, if we're in this zone or this zone. AUD, so it's been moving pretty nicely. What time is that? So you can see these, I don't know when I set that up, to be quite honest with you. I'm not, but this area stayed a key level for a while. You can see that, and so is this. Bam. So what I'm going to look at is this one is not as valid anymore, I don't think. But this one is. We also got kind of a medium level here at 63.3, which we have marked a few times if you look at the other videos. We wouldn't trade from here to here because it's too small unless you are a scalper. But what we're looking for really is seeing what is this area going to still be valid now first before I make a decision, because as you can see here, you always got to look and see, like, right, there's a reaction there, where's the last one, is there another one, and then you can kind of add up to see how much of a key level it is. As you can see here on 63 dead, whole numbers are always really good to start with. You can see, even though it's not bang on, you can see there's a lot of kind of resistance. So just slide out a little bit. Now we're still playing in this zone, which we've been in for a while. As you can see, when it does break, it does go up. So we could potentially be looking at buys and sells like this. So that's what I'd be looking at, but we need to see how we react. If we hit here, react down, and then get a reaction off here, I'd happily put a buy in to target these highs. So 63.10 potential buy spots and 63.5 potential sells. NZD. Again, similar thing here with this. I'm just going to zoom in a bit. So we've got the 57.5 area here. I could see buys coming from here. And I could also see potential selling position. Remember, this doesn't have to be today. This is just at some point in the future, or in the near future. I mean, it doesn't have to be today. If it all pans out, then yeah, of course, it can be today, but it doesn't have to be. Especially when you're trading, doing your analysis on like the hourly time frames, it's fine to kind of look ahead. This is what I'll be looking at for now. So buys or sells from here depending on when we finish up, using it as support or using it as resistance. Buys from here at 57.23. Oh, sorry, that's not correct. 57.2, I mean. 57.2 because of this and all this here. And see this. Got a sweep, support, sweep up, sweep up, sweep up, and then resistance at the minute at 57.3. We're looking for a sweep and then a retest down to do that, or a sweep resistance support rather, sorry, and then up to here, and that's 57.5 target 57. Well, I think we should target higher than that, if we're honest, probably about the vehicle. Right, so let's look at gold. So, as you know, I've spoke about this quite a few times. What will happen with gold? It'll do things like this, where we'll go do, and it'll either break out and just smash through it, and that's what's going on now. So what will happen now is we'll create a new zone. This is usually what happens when we get this, and we have a new support zone. So before we had kind of a new resistance zone at 3034, which was previous support, and same here, 305, which was a previous resistance zone, came support. So now I'm just going to get rid of, actually I'm just going to get rid of everything on here. Now what we're looking at is here, 3048 is my guess at the next support level, if it manages to hold, because we just touched, we're not creating an all-time high, but we're kind of around that area, or second area, which might be a new support area. It's going to be this 340 area. That's my guess for this. Now what we're going to be looking at is, are we going to use this support as a support? We're going to be looking for buys now, but we need our confirmation, so we have to get resistance broken and support created. So this resistance gets broken in terms of the reverses. We might push through this, but we'll find it here, and it'll always return to the same place. It could even be here where this breakout happened and then it flies up. Because what you've got to understand is it's not just candles on a chart. This gold is a commodity. People are invested in gold. So to some people, having a huge price on gold is not going to be good for them, and some really big corporations, it won't be good for them. So, and it is overbought at the minute. So there is going to be some point where it just tanks, it just flies down. It's just got to happen. There's no way that this can keep going. There's a major support level here. That's the next support level. And what we found is when we created that all-time high before, I can't remember where it was, but we created an all-time high and then we just flew down both and just took it all out. I can't remember when it was. Let me see if I can find it. And that's what I think will have to happen at some point. I think it might be here. Yeah, that was it. That is exactly what that is exactly the one I was talking about. So this is where we all thought, right, we fucking, sorry for swearing, we're going up to 3k. We're gonna get 3k. And everyone were going on about it. Look how much it was rallying, like literally from here basically, which is February 2024. Boom. And then, even though it's not a huge thing, everyone thought it was going to hit there, and then within like probably 3 weeks, we lost maybe 500 points off it, and then it just kept going again. That was probably the biggest down swing of the whole of that event, I would say. Yeah, it is. You can, I mean, you can clearly see it. So that's what I believe will happen on this. I think it'll go here and then we'll just reset back at 3,000. So just be mindful of that. So yeah, these are the new kind of zones which you want to look at as potential support to see if it holds. Not to necessarily enter in, but just to see if it holds. So we've got 3036, 3040, and 3048. Once one of these zones is kind of confirmed, like this, as you can see, 3016 here for days has been the sorry, not days, well, a couple of days, was kind of a good level, and then here, that's what we need to see. We need to see that. So next, USD CHF. Now, if you look at the previous videos, I kind of called a lot of these areas out, but they are very obvious. You can see this 881 support becomes resistance. That has been a support level from kind of the 20th of March all the way to the 25th. But I'm going to get rid of that because we've got a new zone. So this is the zone we're trading in. And from today, we've just done this. So we need to see where we end up at this. This is going to be the 88.2 level. 882. And we've got 885. It's only a 30 pip zone. But we've got this big area here which hasn't been touched since pretty much 20th of March. So we need to see if we're going to end up back in it again, like I said with the DXY. If we end up back in this zone, which is basically the equivalent here, we'll continue to go down and we might take out this, which there will be orders for buys there, but if the selling pressure is more, then we'll just smash through it because they'll be searching for stop losses, which most likely will be here because that's where the liquidity will be, or here. So we might see a reaction at 88 dead more than likely, but then there's still this big gap here which potentially might need filling. So what we're going to be looking at is reactions from here. We'll target this. If we're going to go short, we'll target this low here, but with an alert to set up for this because it might come back and then go down or keep going. So that's 885, 882, 88. Just keep them in mind. Next, here we are. So USD CAD. Interesting, we've been downtrending since the 20th of March. We've not really made any new highs. We have been making new lows. I'm going to move this down here to 1424. 1424. And this is our zone, this here. Now, again, what we're going to be looking for to see where we end up at around 2 o'clock. Are we going to be looking at buys from here or sells from here? It's pretty simple, this one. I don't tend to trade this pair, but I do monitor them because it is relevant to the market. So let's just get that. Pretty easy, really, for me to spot this. But yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, so 1424 and 1432. That is the zone that we're trading in. There is a potential support zone here, a 1426. So just bear in mind that that might be a zone. Could even look at buys from here. But at the minute, actually, I'm just gonna remove everything I just said. I'm just gonna hone in a bit more on these zones. I think actually I'm being a bit too lazy. Right, this is more what I'm going to be looking at. That's better. That is better. There we go. So this is a zone, smaller zone, more reactions. So 1426 potential buys and 143 dead potential sells, as long as we get what we're looking for. Sweeps, rejections, touches, whatever. Ignore these colours for now because I'm not going to get into it too much. Right, so interesting. I marked this as the target high, I think last week, which we were searching for, and it hit and rejected. I put shorts, and the zone before it was here, 149, because of this. Now what we've found is we've created a new zone at 150 to 151, and we need to see where we're going to end up now. Having a 100 pip zone on USD JPY is fine because it's such a volatile pair. It's like very similar to gold. So we need to see where when we're gonna end up next session in the US session after 2 o'clock, because we are using this as resistance. It could be a good position, but in personal opinion, we might want to see just a little bit of a sweep or something just to see what happens, because what can happen is with JPY is it cannot even hit its target and then go down thinking, right, I'm in sells, and then just go boom, take everyone out and then do the move. So we need some form of sweep either side. 150 and 151, they're the zones. And now here, we spoke about this on USD, the DXY. If we break into this zone here and use this as support, we can expect these to start to be bullish, and probably gold. However, gold isn't really correlating at the minute, so just don't completely put all your eggs in one basket with that. But yeah, this is what we're looking at. We're looking for a bearish session on gold, and we're looking for it to break into this box. When it breaks into this box, expect at least these ones to start being more bullish. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. If you've got any comments or questions, put them down in the comment section and I will answer them. If you've got any recommendations for videos, put them in the comment section and I will do it, no problem. Thank you very much.